Have you ever seen someone dropping fat so fast you're like, how did they do that so easy? Like they found some secret fat burn switch the rest of us don't know about. But here's the thing, it's not magic and it's not genetics. After digging through a lot of research to see what actually works long term, it's pretty clear there's a simple strategy that melts fat off your body and a lot that are just clickbait nonsense. Let's break down how you can burn fat so fast it feels illegal. Even if you're busy, you hate strict meal plans, and every diet you've tried has blown up in your face before. The biggest mistake people make when trying to lose weight is falling into the hamster wheel trap, where they treat fat loss like a math problem they can solve with a treadmill. They think that because they ate a burger, they need to run for 45 minutes to erase it. You are trading time for calories in a 1-to-1 ratio, and frankly, it is a terrible trade. You're essentially an accountant trying to balance a billion-dollar budget by collecting pennies on the sidewalk. I'm going to show you the 2 exercises that actually balance that budget in a second, but I need to warn you about a mental glitch that usually hits late at night. It's a specific type of craving that feels impossible to resist, and it ruins more progress than missed workouts ever could. But there is a ridiculously simple 15-minute mental trick that shuts it off like a light switch, which I'll share with you later. The truth is, steady-state cardio, or what the science guys call LISS, is fine for heart health, but for fat loss, it is inefficient. A systematic review published in Obesity Reviews analyzed dozens of studies and found that high-intensity interval training provided similar reductions in body fat to traditional cardio, but required about 40% less time commitment. You are essentially stealing calorie burn from the future through a process called EPOC, meaning your metabolism stays hot even while you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. Now that we've fired the accountant, let's look at the heavy artillery that makes the treadmill look like a coat rack. If you could only do one exercise for the rest of your life to stay lean and powerful, this is it: the kettlebell swing. It's a 2-for-1 deal, strength training and cardio disguised as one movement. A study by the American Council on Exercise found that a vigorous kettlebell snatch workout burns calories at a rate of roughly 1,200 calories per hour. To put that in perspective, that's the metabolic equivalent of running a 6-minute mile pace, but you're doing it without pounding your joints into dust. The magic of the swing is that it targets the posterior chain, the hamstrings, glutes, and back. These are the biggest, hungriest muscles in your body. Working them is like firing up a V8 engine compared to the lawnmower engine you use for a bicep curl. The swing is a hinge, meaning you need to imagine you are trying to close a car door with your butt because your hands are full. You start by hiking the bell back between your legs like a football center snapping a ball, and then aggressively snapping your hips forward so the bell floats up to chest height on its own. It should feel weightless for a split second at the top, and if you are gritting your teeth and muscling it up with your shoulders, you are doing it wrong because the power must come from your glutes violently contracting. But be careful here, because while the intensity is magic, the frequency is the trap. You might think you need to grind this out every single day to get results, but I'll explain in a minute why doing that will actually destroy your central nervous system and make you hold on to fat. Now, getting this hip hinge right is critical because it's the foundation of almost every athletic movement. If your hips are tight or your core is weak, you're just building a house on quicksand. That's actually why I created my ebook. It's not just a list of exercises, it's a manual on how to build a resilient, injury-proof body by mastering these fundamental stability patterns. It covers the stuff most trainers skip, like deep core integration, hip mobility, and more, so you can train hard without waking up feeling like you got hit by a truck. You can scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to check it out. It's the best investment you can make for your long-term fitness. Now, this next exercise everyone loves to hate: the burpee. I know, you hear burpee and you want to check out immediately. But listen, there is a reason this move is a staple in every military and athletic program on Earth. It is the ultimate no excuses calorie destroyer. It requires zero equipment and works every muscle from your neck to your ankles. The burpee works because it forces your heart to pump blood vertically. You go from horizontal to vertical repeatedly. This drastic change in position forces your cardiovascular system to work significantly harder than if you were just running in a straight line. The problem is, most people look like a dying fish flopping on the deck when they do this, which leaks energy and hurts your lower back. You need to squat down and place your hands firmly on the ground inside your feet. Then jump your feet back into a strong high plank position while squeezing your glutes. If you let your hips sag toward the floor, you are going to wreck your spine. So keep it tight before snapping your feet back towards your hands and exploding up into a jump. If a full burpee is too much, do a sprawl, which is the same move just without the push-up and without the jump. Also, I forgot to tell you, I have a completely free newsletter where I send out weekly fitness tips and strategies. If you want to join the crew, the link is in the description. Now, knowing the moves won't help you much if you don't know the dose. So let's talk about that frequency trap I mentioned earlier. How do we put this all together the easiest way possible? The biggest mistake with HIIT is frequency. You cannot do this every day. As noted in research reviews on high-intensity training, HIIT imposes a massive stress on your central nervous system. If you do it daily, you will burn out, your cortisol will spike, and you might actually start holding on to fat. Treat these workouts like potent medicine and aim for 2 to 3 times a week. You can use a protocol like EMOM, where you set a timer for 10 minutes and do 10 perfect swings at the start of every minute. This keeps your form crisp because you get rest, but the volume adds up fast. Alternatively, you can mix it up by doing 30 seconds of kettlebell swings, resting 30 seconds, then doing 30 seconds of burpees and resting 30 seconds for a total of 10 to 12 minutes. If you can go longer than 20 minutes, you simply aren't working hard enough during the work intervals, because true HIIT should leave you gasping, not able to hold a conversation about the weather. But all this sweat is wasted if you fumble the ball at the 1-yard line late at night. So how do we fix those midnight fridge raids? We tend to think of cravings as these permanent commands from our brain that won't go away until we eat the cookie. But psychologists have a different view called urge surfing. Research suggests that an intense food craving is like a wave that builds, peaks, and then crashes. And the duration of that wave is usually only about 15 to 20 minutes. So here is a nice little trick called the 15-minute timer. When the craving hits, tell yourself that you are allowed to eat that junk food, but you have to wait 15 minutes. Then, set a timer on your phone. In those 15 minutes, you must do something else, like fold laundry, walk the dog, or answer an email. 9 times out of 10, when that alarm goes off, the wave has crashed and the chemical urgency in your brain has subsided. You regain control of your prefrontal cortex, meaning you didn't use willpower to fight the urge, you just waited for the wave to pass. Don't forget to check out that ebook I mentioned. It's the full blueprint for building a body that can handle this kind of intensity for the long haul. Now go on, lift something heavy,